Alrighty. I think we are live. Yes, we are. Cool, cool, cool. Alrighty. Let's find a link. Where is it? Okay. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the live stream. Let's see if I can get a link in here. Yep, that's it. Let's see, get the let's get this in here. Alrighty. Cool, how are you guys doing? Let's get the chat in here. Let's drop one on Twitter real quick. Alrighty. Hopefully that link even works, does it? I don't think so. That link doesn't even do anything. Alrighty. Trying to figure out how to do this. I can't even... Oh, there it is. Missing link. Let's do this again. Sorry guys, some technical difficulties as I get this out there. Okay. Alright. We are ready to go. How are you guys doing? I didn't feel like making an actual video today, so I figured that this was going to be the best opportunity. I just felt like I could talk about a lot more if I just live streamed. So here we are. Wanted to answer some of your guys' questions, see how you guys are doing. It's an awesome day. Markets are down a little bit, but we had a really solid run over the last few days, so it's to be expected to get some type of a pullback. So I just kind of felt like going over some charts, looking at some things, talking about some thoughts and perspectives that I have. And yeah, just kind of going from there. So let's get started. Let's go to TradingView. I don't even think I'm logged into this. It's alright. Oh man, my charts look wonky. Oh, hold on a second. I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, I don't know. My charts are a little screwed up, though. Yeah, it's okay. We'll make it work. Let's find some crypto. Let's go look at Bitcoin. Let's see. What account am I in as? Let's try and log in with a different one, because these charts look a little screwed up. I don't remember which one it was, though. None of these are... This is the right one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Cool, cool. Let's see. So let's talk about Bitcoin on the shorter time frames. Let's see some thoughts here. Kind of give you guys my perspective on what's happening right now. So first things first, we pretty much just rallied straight back into our supply. This is previous support for a little while, but you guys can see that this has been resistance here, 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 short-term support, and then we went back below it. So this is us just kind of tagging that resistance for the first time since this sell-off. And so as it stands right now, in my opinion, as long as we hold support above 52,300, around this level here, if we can hold support above here, then we're going to be bullish. You know, the second that we make this resistance, then obviously we would expect one more drop. And the next support level, in my opinion, is 42K. So it would look something like this. You know, overall, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because if Bitcoin were to drop and make a lower low, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the altcoins. Would we get some type of deviation from that, where maybe the altcoins rally, or would everything kind of come down in unison? I don't really know what's going to happen, but based off of how the chart looks, and based off of that, how the altcoins look, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin just holds support and keeps going up. I think it would be more probable that that happens. You know, we have yet to see any type of deviation where Bitcoin goes down and altcoins go up. It did happen in the last cycle, but it's pretty rare when it does happen. So I'm not expecting it by any means. But I mean, when we go and look at the likes of Ethereum, you know, this is looking really, really good. And we have had a little pullback, but that overall, that pullback got bought up pretty nicely. And we're even getting more of a buyback as we stand right now. So overall, this is probably going to get, this is probably going to go higher, but I do see the potential that we could have this this is actually a head and shoulder top forming. So this is something to pay attention for. You know, overall, I wouldn't be surprised if this just breaks bullish. I think it's more likely, but this could come into a bearish reversal pattern, and we could come back down and retest 3K. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that happen. But overall, guys, I don't think the ETH is necessarily bearish, because when we come and look at the Bitcoin pair, then let's actually come over here to charts.cointrader, because I like how these charts are going to look a little bit better. So let's go take a look at ETH against Bitcoin, because in my opinion, this chart looks even better, and it's a better looking, well, I shouldn't say it's a better looking chart, but it's a better chart to analyze as far as where we're pair. And so what I see here is a resistance all the way up here at about 0.122 Bitcoin. And we do have another resistance right here at about 0.08 Bitcoin. And I honestly think the ETH is going to go up to this one before we see some type of a pullback. Maybe this is where we get a short-term pullback. We could drop back down to roughly where we're at. And then I would expect that we'd get another impulse up to this higher resistance at 1.2. I think that that's probably what's going to end up happening, guys. And it's a testament to what happened in the last cycle. You know, in the last cycle, I always try and bring this up to you guys because both of these market cycles look the same as each other. In the last cycle, ETH did this. It made its low, and then it rounded out for a little while. And then when we started the new cycle, it was in this first impulse that we flipped the all-time highs, right? This is the all-time high, and then this is us flipping it onto support. And then this is where we went for our final blow-off top. Now, keep in mind, guys, this topped, the Bitcoin pair topped when ETH was at $450. So keep in mind, it was in this move right here. Let's zoom out a bit. So this move, ETH went from like $5 all the way up to $450, and then it was in this pullback here in this consolidation that ETH peaked against Bitcoin. So ETH actually peaked right here against the Bitcoin pair at the second impulse, so at $450. And then what happened was, you know, ETH ended up going for another high right here. But this is a lower high, right? So what we saw with ETH was it went for a higher high. It went for a new all-time high up to $1,450 against the dollar pair. But against the Bitcoin pair, in that move, it made a lower high. And so I honestly think the same type of stuff is going to happen again, where we're going to see this big rally up into price discovery from the altcoins. We're going to see the Bitcoin ratios outperform the best in this current move that we're seeing. I mean, look at Dogecoin, for example. Its Bitcoin pair is completely just exploded against the chart, and it just looks crazy, honestly, when you look at it. And I think that the same thing is going to happen to the rest of these altcoins. And the reason being, guys, what we've seen across the market here, let's go back to TradingView. And let's look at Bitcoin, because it is very similar to what we saw in the last cycle. And there's a lot of similarities that we can draw conclusions from. So when we come over here, let's actually go to the Brave index for the great almighty corn. Let's hide our drawing tools for a second, and let's just talk about some things here. Because in my opinion, guys, this is very, very similar to what we saw in the last cycle. So let's actually take it off the log scale. Let's drop it in here a bit. So it was in this move right here. This is where Bitcoin flipped its all-time high, was in this move, and then it made its first major parabolic impulse after. And it was in this move that we saw the altcoins make their very big first cycles. And it was the point where, you know, we saw ETH go to $450, and it was a very profitable time. Now, the altcoins in this move, they pretty much underperformed against Bitcoin. A lot of them made lower lows. A lot of them kept up trending, the best performing ones like Ethereum, like XMR, like Dash, but a lot of them ended up going for lower lows. But the majority of altcoins underperformed against Bitcoin throughout this period. And Bitcoin ended up going all the way from 3,000 to 20,000, and the altcoins pretty much didn't do anything throughout that period of time. It was clear up here to the very top of Bitcoin's impulse that the altcoins finally started to take off. And so Bitcoin is going to suppress the altcoins. This is going to happen over and over. But it was in this move all the way back down here, this first major impulse into price discovery, that the altcoin Bitcoin ratios went nuts. And this is what I believe is going to be the same thing happening now. We're having the same type of summer impulse. It's the same correlation as what happened in the last cycle, same time frames just about. And I think that we're going to see a massive move coming from these altcoins. And this is the point where we're going to see this move, where we're going to see the altcoins outperform the Bitcoin ratios, because this is actually the definition of alt season, guys. It's not when the dollar pairs do really well. It's when the Bitcoin ratios outperform their Bitcoin pairs. That's when true alt season is taking place. And that is what we're about to see right now. Now, there's 3 alt season. We experienced alt season number 1 last summer. We experienced alt season number 2 right now. This is alt season number 2, and we're about to see how big this one is going to get. And it follows basic Elliott wave theory, guys. It's the same way as the last cycle. And let's actually try and let's go over here and look at ETH, because I can actually pull up the whole chart. And I'll share with you guys exactly what I mean. And we'll take it to a log scale so you guys know. So this is the way it goes. This is Elliott wave theory, right? This is wave 1. This is wave 2. Or wave 3, technically. And then this is wave 5. There's 3 impulses. This is the first impulse, this is the second impulse, and then this is the third impulse. This is how every market cycle is going to behave. And so you could technically count this as the first impulse. In my opinion, that doesn't make sense because this is just consolidation. This is just sideways ranging. But either way, it doesn't necessarily matter. What matters is that we go through pretty much 3 cycles in the altcoins. So the same thing happened in the last cycle. So this first breakout, this was really the cycle number 1 for the alts. This move here, this big impulse, was cycle number 2. And cycle number 2 for the alts was the biggest one where they outperformed their Bitcoin ratios the most. It was the most profitable. That's the 3-wave based off of Elliott wave theory. And if we look at ETH, that was this move here, from $6 up to $450. That was really the massive rally that made everybody so much money. This was the Bitcoin ratio outperformance. And this happened in the summertime. And based off of the summertime, this was exactly 4 years ago. So it follows exactly to the 4-year cycle theory. And it's why I've been following this so strongly. So here's to summarize all of what I'm explaining. We're about to have the biggest altcoin cycle of the bull run, where they outperform their Bitcoin ratios. In the last cycle, it was this move here. It's when Bitcoin first makes its parabolic rise, right? It's the same point, guys. Why I believe this is going to be the biggest one of all, and why I believe that Doge was the prime example as to, confirmation of this bias, was because what we just saw from Bitcoin, I mean, percent return wasn't the biggest percent return we've ever seen, but what we've just seen from Bitcoin was truly one of the most parabolic rallies that we've ever been through. And this parabolic cycle has been, based off of how price looks, it's been the most parabolic one. This move from 3,000 all the way up to 14K was something nobody expected. This move from 9,000 all the way up to 65,000 was once again something nobody expected. This is the cycle where we're going to see the most returns of anyone, because this is the institutional cycle. This is the mainstream adoption cycle. I still think that we're a little bit early. This is going to be a really profitable bubble. I think that we'll still have one more bubble after this, and I think that that's going to be when full adoption takes place. But I still think that this one's going to be very parabolic, and the most parabolic, the most profitable of the coming cycles. And so what we just saw was this major impulse. Guys, this is technically before this impulse. Look at this. At the beginning of this impulse, we were at $10,500. We were below the all-time high. Now, the exact same thing happened here. We were right at the all-time high, technically below it for a period of time, but once we broke above that and we got our first impulse into this new price discovery, that was the biggest alt season. Now, guys, where we're at today inside of Bitcoin is the exact same point. This was our first breakout into new all-time highs and our first breakout into price discovery. This will be the biggest alt season that we see. It's going to be the most profitable one. And so it's important that we're making sure that we're holding. We're not locking up too many profits right now because it simply doesn't make sense. The amount of profits that are going to be had over the next couple months will be some of the most life-changing gains you and I have ever experienced. I've already managed to change my life off of this so far. When I go through this entire alt season that's coming up, at that point, guys, money is obsolete to me. It's already to the point where money is obsolete to me. But that is when I just make so much money that, you know, money is completely worthless. It holds no real value. And when you guys find that for yourself, which is really why I try and make these videos and educate you guys, when you're able to make that type of profit for yourself, you're able to fully, you know, hit those major goals that you've been having. Maybe it's $10,000, maybe it's $100,000, maybe it's $1 million, $10 million. I don't know. Everybody's goals are different. But that's how it went for me. I remember I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was living in my mom's basement, because keep in mind, the way my story goes is I was living in my mom's basement. I moved to Colorado, you know, about a year and a half later with my ex-girlfriend. And then I left there and moved into my grandma's basement. And I was there for about another year and a half. And so I was in between these two places. But when I was in my mom's basement and I was first making this channel, at that point, I really had no money at all. I wasn't really, I knew how the cycles worked, but I really didn't have anything going for myself. And so I remember just watching these charts, and I had, I knew that, you know, it was going to make a new parabolic cycle. I didn't know how crazy it was, because you never know. But I remember taking a piece of paper, and I was just really, it was right when I started my business. It was right when I launched my YouTube channel. I was, you know, really inspired. I just wanted to make money so I didn't have to live in my mom's basement at 21 years old anymore. It made me feel really worthless. And so I was there. I took on the paper and wrote down a list of goals. And one of the goals on that list was to make $100,000 by the end of 2018. I didn't hit that goal by any means, because the end of 2018, you know, the market ended up crashing lower. So it ended up going lower than I expected, but that's fine. I still had that goal. And I remember working, you know, it was probably 2.5 years before I hit that goal. But when I hit that goal, you know, when you write the goal, you think that when you hit that goal, there's going to be this magical, you know, euphoric experience, and, you know, someone's going to throw a party for you or whatever. And it's not the case. Like, you hit the goal, and the human condition is to always want more and strive for more. And it's just the way things work. Like, you guys are never going to be able to fill the void that you have in your life by making more money. It doesn't work like that. You make more money, but then you make more money and you end up just doing more things, like buying more cars or buying a house or starting a new business or a lot of different things where you're not really, you know, you're just taking your money and diversifying it in new places, and you're not solving all of your problems. You're just creating different problems in your place. And they're not so much problems, it's new opportunities as well as when you get money. But if you expect that having a certain number goal of wealth, monetary wealth, as far as dollar value, you think that that's going to change your life, it's not going to change your life at all. I'm the same exact person as I was when I had $50,000. I moved to California with $40,000 to my name. I really didn't have that much money. And now I've been able to amass, you know, multi-millions. And so it's been a really amazing opportunity, but you guys are all going to be going through this exact same thing. I'm not anybody special. You know, I started from a little amount of money, and I was really able to turn it into a lot with how profitable these crypto returns are. Obviously, I have YouTube. Obviously, I have my business. Obviously, I have all of these other ventures, and those are also highly profitable. But at the end of the day, that's why I just appreciate my community, because I wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for you guys. If you guys didn't appreciate my analysis, if you guys didn't appreciate me talking about all of this stuff, I wouldn't have what I have today. You know, I still would have made good gains because obviously I've been investing my own money. I did work in the oil field. You know, I've been doing a lot of things aside from crypto to get money. It's not like I relied 100% on you guys, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that the vast majority of my wealth came from my community. And that's what I just appreciate from you guys, is all of the support, and that's why I try to give back to the greatest analysis that I possibly can. And to summarize all of this stuff, guys, I'm just excited for you guys to finally go through this major alt season, because I'm telling you, this is the one that I've had written down, that I've been watching for, because I was there in the last cycle. I bought my first Bitcoin at $450. I'll tell you guys the story of my trading career, because it's kind of funny. And it'll make you guys realize that if you're making a lot of dumb mistakes, I made a lot of dumb mistakes too. So Bitcoin bottomed, and we made our first breakout. I bought my first Bitcoin right here at $450, right before we broke out. I didn't know anything about charts or anything. I just knew Bitcoin was going to be the future. So I bought my first Bitcoin here. Then we have our first breakout, and I really made my first profit ever in investing, and I was hooked ever since. That was the hook, line, and sinker for me. Now, we had this first lower high, and me and my friend Dallin at High Altitude Investing threw all of my money in on a margin long on Bitfinex, and then the market sold off because we thought that the halving was going to make it go to the moon, and it didn't. It sold off and had one more leg lower, and I got liquidated and lost my Bitcoin. And so I made a lot of dumb mistakes all the way through there, and the whole time was me trying to figure out how to make that Bitcoin back. But what I remember, guys, is I was watching the charts, and I was trying my hardest to learn and figure out how the hell this stuff worked, and it was in this move here. It was the most profitable move, and I was there to trade it. I wasn't very good at trading, but I remember seeing how profitable it was. I watched people close to me take small investments and make it into enough to buy a house. Like, I literally saw this happen all around me. I didn't do it for myself because I didn't have enough skills and I wasn't dumb luck enough. So because of that, you know, I had to go through that experience of seeing everybody around me make life-changing money and me not really, you know, take one step forward, two steps back, or take one step forward, one step back, and really just not make it anywhere. You know, maybe you take 4 steps forward and then 2 steps back, and then you take 2 steps forward and then 6 steps back. At the end of the day, you're still in the same place, even though you have this illusion that you're actually making money, right? And so I watched this happen, and I'm telling you guys right now, that is what is about to happen again. I have waited for this exact moment because I missed out in the last cycle. I was there early, but I didn't know enough. I just made dumb mistakes. I just simply made the mistakes that some of you guys are going to do as well, but I try and prevent you guys from making those mistakes. The best advice I can give you guys right now is just to hold through this. Have the patience, have the willpower to just hold through the parabolic cycle, because we just flipped the all-time highs. We're in this move here. This is going to be the point where we experience some of the most profitable returns of the cycle, and I want you guys to be able to hold through the majority of that. You don't have to buy the exact bottom, you don't have to sell the exact top, but if you hold through the majority of that process, you will make enough money to completely transform your lives if you haven't already. I know a lot of people that are just now subscribing to this channel, a lot of new faces. You guys are probably wondering or have no idea what the heck is going on, but this is the process of the way things go, and what we're about to see is going to be some big profits, and the ETH-Bitcoin ratio breaking out is really just proof of this. This is the manifestation of all of this belief, all of our investing, all of this process of dollar cost averaging, and all of this stuff that we've been going through over the last couple of years to get to this point. We are here. This is the point where if you've been here, if you've been buying throughout this entire period where, you know, maybe you bought the top, maybe you bought all throughout this entire period of time. Now you're seeing things break up for the first time. Do not sell early. That's the biggest mistake people are going to make. I made the mistake. I've made the mistake, but I just had no idea what I was doing in the last cycle. Literally a chicken running around with its head cut off. I made some profit, but I didn't ever actually realize that gain. At the top of the cycle, I had $40,000. I ended up making my Bitcoin that I had got liquidated at the bottom, made it back at the top of the cycle, and then I reinvested into altcoins at the top of the cycle, and I didn't sell anything. But when you buy everything at the top, you lose all of your money pretty much instantly. It's not like you have any gains. So that is kind of the background of what happened to me. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably going through the same thing. How are you guys? Let's check the chat. I haven't been in here for a long time. Man, there's some people straight spamming it, though. Let's remove them. Putting him in timeout. Let's put all these people in timeout. Let's get this guy out of here. Cool. Let's go take a look at Chainlink, honestly. I kind of feel like doing that. Old links. Honestly, I like Chainlink a lot. It's forever been one of my favorite cryptos. I like Chainlink more than XRP. I do. I'm not going to lie to you guys. What's the matter with you, pup? I might have to take my dog outside to go to the bathroom in a second. Man, it's at 46 bucks. I didn't even realize. Oh, wow. It just had a massive breakout. That's insane. That's cool. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Chainlink is literally one of the best looking charts in crypto history. in my opinion, it really is, because the only coins we can even look at from the last cycle to draw a comparison would be like, honestly, the only one that even reminds me of the same is Monero. And even then with Monero, it's different still. Like, Monero made the same type of moves, where the whole cycle, it pretty much just went parabolic. And it was just uptrending the entire time. But the thing is like, Chainlink just looks in a different classification of its own. Look how consistent and steady this accumulation has been. It's insane to look at a chart that goes from, 30 cents or whatever it was to $46, and in that move there has not been one blow off top. I don't consider this a blow off top. Yes, it was, a big impulse, but it's not a blow off top. It's nothing close to that. It's just an impulse. Same with this. Not a blow off top, it's an impulse. Not a blow off top, it's an impulse. All of this stuff has just been quick little impulses that have a correction, and then we just slowly consolidate. And the most recent move that we've been seeing, this type of price action, this looks insanely bullish, because what it is it's stitching. All of this little short price action that's barely moving anywhere, that's just slowly going up and slowly going down, and it's really just obnoxious in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, we're making profit, but you see these coins like Binance Coin or Matic that are just blowing up, and you're just sitting here like holding your Chainlink. You're like, man, I feel like I'm missing out. And this is just classic FOMO, guys. And with crypto, it's the hardest thing ever. I don't experience FOMO anymore. Like, the way the amount of times I've been wrecked FOMO buying, like, you hit a point in time where you either just lose all your money and give up, or you become disgusted with the feeling of FOMO. And I've got to the point where, if a coin's pumped a lot, I get so detoured from buying it that I actually miss out on some opportunities because of that. But in my opinion, it's better for me to miss out on some opportunities than it is for me to get in the habit of making bad habits and, FOMO buying. Because the problem that people are going to have is if you practice bad habits now and you reinforce those bad habits throughout the bull run, we're all making enough money in markets that do nothing but go up right now that any idiot can make a profit. I'm not some genius. Yes, I understand the way market cycles work, and I've worked really hard to gain this knowledge that I have, but overall, I'm not some genius. I mean, at the end of the day, like, these markets go up a lot and anybody can make money. Everybody that watches this channel, for the most part, is probably making money and is profiting off their investments. The thing that's important to know is if you're making good habits throughout this process, you're taking the time to have patience, you're holding, you're dollar cost averaging, you're not FOMO buying on the next hyped thing, you're not jumping into Safe Moon because everybody else is, right? If you're doing those types of mistakes, you're FOMO buying, you're jumping into every major rally you see, what's going to happen is you're going to make money. Don't get me wrong, you're going to make money, but the second that there's a major shakeout, it's in those times where you're making a lot of money and then you're losing a lot of it really quick that you're going to get so emotionally, distraught. You're going to panic sell. You're going to make these dumb mistakes. And if you're going all in each trade and you're throwing it into every new hype coin around, I can guarantee you will lose all of your money. I have not even been buying most things. The only things I really buy at this point in the cycle are low caps, because I'm not really into trading, guys. I don't care about it so much. And if you guys are, it's no disrespect to anybody that is. I still think it's highly profitable. But at the end of the day, like, these are markets that are profitable enough that I don't care about trying to squeeze out, squeezing out in crypto is still making a huge difference in your portfolio, but I personally like this strategy. I like to find coins undervalued, good partnerships, good fundamental use case, and I buy some. I don't even buy that much. I'll throw a few thousand into this, throw a few thousand into that. I'm not throwing as much as I can into 3 positions and then praying to God that they go up, otherwise I'm broke and, going to have to sell the house and, put the kids up for adoption. You don't want to be making those types of mistakes. And so I just think my strategy's solid. I just buy, I take small positions. Certain coins I will throw bigger positions in, but I just throw money into them, sit on there, forget about it. That's what I did with Kusama. That's what I did with Polkadot. That's what I've done with Cardano. It's what I've done with so many different cryptos out there. There are certain coins that I've done, more investment into, but at the end of the day, like, you don't really have to get too crazy with it, guys. You really don't. Let's see, what you guys saying in the chat? Pull up Hex chart. Okay. It's like the only one that's up, isn't it? Oh, Hex. Man, this chart looks so good. I'm not even going to lie. This looks really fire. Shout out to all of the Hex supporters. I was one of the idiots that claimed scam back in the day, even though, you know, Hex actually showed me. Hex was a good, a humbling experience, to say the least. It humbled me a lot in the way of, I was pretty much just, throughout this period when Hex was, you know, first coming out, I knew who Richard Hart was from forever ago in 2017. But when he made Hex and everybody claimed scam, I was one of those ducks claiming scam. I was one of those followers. And at the end of the day, you know, I didn't understand anything about it. I didn't do any research. And if I would have done research, I probably wouldn't have even understood what it was because I was an idiot. So when that happened, and it did so well once the bull market started, the reason it's doing well is because the dude that created it is smart. He had good tokenomics. He had a great launch. He did everything perfectly. It's not going to perform this well if it's just some scam, right? It has multi-billions in market cap at this point, I think. And if it doesn't, you know, I think it did hit $1 billion. I don't know exactly, but the point I'm trying to make here is that this coin's going to perform really well. I don't know long-term what it's going to be. I'm not going to get that far into it. But the way this chart looks is fire. This is just a parabolic trend that's growing, similar to Chainlink, right? Where we just have this this parabolic trend that's getting steeper and steeper. We haven't seen any blow-off tops yet. I think that we're about to see one right now. We're going to get a big move this summer. I don't know how high it's going to go, but we're going to get a big move this summer. And when that happens, you know, life-changing gains are to be made. We'll see some type of major sell-off after that. But throughout this period, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be profitable. What other questions that you guys have in here? Tezos. All right, I'm down. I haven't talked about Tezos in a while. Tezos till I Bezos. I've been staking Tezos forever. Been buying Tezos forever. Well, I should say holding Tezos forever. I started buying Tezos at $1. That's when I first got into Tezos. So, you know, all of those buys are doing solid. Nothing crazy, but good gains, to say the least. Honestly, guys, where Tezos is at, like, we're pretty much just flipping this level that I've been waiting to flip forever. I think we'll get continuation from this. It is possible it could go lower, but overall, I think that this is a parabolic trend that's just getting steeper as well. All of these are. They're just, you know, almost all of these charts have just been making impulses and then retracing and then just slowly building on a parabolic trend. And it's encouraging to see because now, for the first time, we're going to see an actual expansion from all of that accumulation. Because this is no joke, guys. This is a lot of price accumulation. And it's not sideways price accumulation. This is uptrending price accumulation. This is kind of like where Bitcoin was at when it bottomed at $160 and it uptrended to the all-time highs. It was just building a parabolic trend, right, for about a year. These things have been doing it for, you know, freaking 2 years. So expect a lot of upside to come from these things this summer. I'm serious. What else do we have here? What happened with XRP? I guess we can't do a live stream and not talk about XRP, right? Let's go look at the chart. Let's go look at Bitstamp. And let's see here. I mean, honestly, like, what? We just had a big move off the lows and we're having a tiny pullback. What do you mean what happened to it? Like, this is what happens in every market. They go up and they go down. Yeah, honestly, guys, as long as we hold support here, there's no reason to be shaken out by anything. My guess is $1.28 is a strong level that we want to see hold. As long as we're above this, we're bullish. We're getting a nice green candle coming in here. So as long as we can hold support above this level, you know, we're going to be seeing new all-time highs. Well, not new all-time highs, but new highs past $2. I just think that this was just a flip back up to reclaim this level as support. And so now that we're seeing that, we should expect to see continuation as long as that level holds. So that's, you know, same thing, guys. Doge Fractal in the house. It's literally going to pull a Doge. And when that happens, we're about to be all filthy rich. And been dollar cost averaging into XRP for ever and ever and ever. And to finally, I mean, just to look at coins like Doge and to see how well it did, I don't know if it's going to do a Doge, but this is the way these parabolic market cycles work, guys. I'm telling you, this is what they did in the last cycle. Same exact thing that Doge is doing now. Like, I've been expecting that this is going to be the way this cycle goes, and so this is the whole point of been buying these coins for so long. So to see Doge doing this, it gives me a lot of confidence that all of the rest of the coins are going to be doing the same things. You know, it's funny that Doge is doing what it's doing, and keep in mind that Doge has a much lesser market cap. It went from like $1 billion market cap to like 70 billion that it's at right now. XRP is already at like 40 billion today. So it's going to take way more money to flood into XRP for XRP to get the same type of an expansion in price. But, I mean, XRP is way more valuable than Dogecoin ever will be. I mean, XRP is actually valuable compared to Dogecoin. And so, if this is what a meme is doing right now, I love to see what an actual valuable crypto is going to do, like XRP. So I'm excited to see, honestly. And who knows? Maybe it pulls a dud. Maybe maybe Dogecoin rips so hard because Elon Musk is actually God himself and is the pump god from all markets, and he's just the greatest master at this ever. But honestly, guys, I do think that there's enough dumb money flowing around in the world today that we're going to see these happen across the board on a number of these altcoins. They've also printed so much money that, like, I think people are really happy-go-lucky to jump into investing because even, you know, normal everyday people are starting to see the cracks in society. So I think there's going to be a lot of dumb money flowing around here. YFI. Yes, this is exactly what I want to go look at. This is one of my favorite coins. This is one of my dark horse candidates for this cycle. I love Yearn Finance because I think this is going to be a big leader for DeFi as a whole. And this one's been doing the same type of thing. So I actually dollar cost averaged into the Yearn Finance dip. I saw this thing rip, and honestly, I got so sad that I felt like I got priced out too fast. When it went to 44K, I was like, no way, dude. I'm not buying one of those things. Like, it's too expensive for me. And then it sold off, and I almost bought one at 30K. I was really about to buy one at 30K. And then I didn't. Saw it going back up again, and I thought, man, I missed out again. And then when it sold off, that was the point where I was like, okay, man, I can't miss out on this. But it was sitting here at like 13K, and I remember it was dropping, and I hadn't bought one yet, and I was like, man, if I was going to buy it at 30K, why am I not buying one at 15K right now? It's half off. So I forced myself to buy one. I was honestly a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, guys. When you're buying coins that are dropping like this, when you're trying to dollar cost average into dips, it's kind of emotional at times, and once you get acquainted to doing it frequently, it's not. You know, you become loving to buy the dip. It's exciting to do that because you see the opportunity that's presented. But when it's happening, when you're getting used to it, it's like, and with Yearn, you know, they're worth 13,000 a piece. You know, me buying one of those things, it's a lot of money. $13,800, some money, guys. I mean, yeah, I have a lot of money at this point. I've made life-changing wealth for myself, but I did it all so fast, and it wasn't very long ago that I had no money at all, that I still look at money from that same perspective. I still value money in the same way. You know, I have a lot of money, but I still take small position sizes. I still manage my risk, and it's those exact habits that are the reason I can maintain the money that I have. And you guys got to keep in mind that it's so good to practice these fundamental behaviors, because when you practice the fundamentals from the beginning, long term, when all of that wealth compounds, you know, instead of losing it all back to the market by practicing bad habits, you're going to maintain that long term. So why I've always liked Yearn, you know, when we dropped back down here to 13K, I bought one, and then we went for a lower low, and when we went for a lower low, I had to buy another one. And I actually went heavier into Yearn Finance than most any coins that I buy. You know, I went heavy into Yearn, I went heavy into Chainlink, went heavy into XRP, went heavy into Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those were my, and Tezos. Those were my five. Those were the Fab Five that I went heavy into, expecting big things. And so in those, you know, I felt a little bit more uncomfortable when I did buy those dips because it was at the time way bigger position sizing than I was ever used to. And so I did manage to pull the trigger once again on another Yearn at $11,500. Actually, no, it was down here at $9,000. My average entry price from both of these buys was $11,500. So let's draw a line. This was my average entry price into Yearn. I'm super proud of that entry price. Like, not to just sit here and toot my own horn or however the saying goes, but I really am proud about my entry price into this because I not only stuck to conviction that I thought this was a good project, but I invested more than I was comfortable. Well, not more than I was comfortable with, but a much higher amount than I normally would invest, and I just stuck to that all the way through, and I felt like this was a really cool trade for me. And so what we've seen from that is honestly just one of my favorite charts in the market. I mean, we've just been building a foundation off of this parabolic trend. And this is just slow accumulation, right? We're just bouncing off of this level, bouncing off of it. They inflated the market, they got hacked, all of these things, but, you know, price kept accumulating, which made me feel confident about everything. I didn't care so much that they were inflating the tokens because of the fact I felt like it was going to be better long term, and it gave them more utility for more money to ultimately flood into the market. And so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, guys, I like this coin because of the fact there's only like 36,000 of these things. And because of that, you know, it's already worth 51K each. I honestly have always thought that this could be a coin that hit $1 million. And so I bought 2 of them because I just thought that maybe this had the chance of hitting $1 million per coin. And if that does it, dude, and I bought 2 of those things, that's awesome. I mean, that's freaking dope. And so that's why I ended up buying Yearn. But I mean, I like Yearn because of the fundamental case that it has. I mean, the creator of Yearn is an OG in crypto. You know, he's worked on so many of these projects. He's so looked highly upon and respected by all of these different cryptos. And a lot of the other cryptos that I buy because he's working with them. And so there is some negative stigma attached towards him, and there is with everybody, but I do like this project, and I think it's going to perform well. And now that we're breaking the all-time highs, in my opinion, notice how we were bouncing off of this parabolic trend every time, and we would get impulses off of it, but we're always coming back down to hit it. Notice how we didn't hit it here. This is the beginning where we go parabolic. This is what happens right before we go parabolic. Let's see here. What is the best exchange to buy EcoFi? Go to Uniswap. If you guys search it over here, we're on CoinGecko. You guys can come over here and search it. The market cap's wrong. We're closer to like 5 to 7 million in market cap right now. They just have the wrong supply. So keep that in mind. They're using our total supply, which is not actually accurate. So they think that we have a much higher market cap. But if you come here and you go down to markets and you actually come down here and click eco.eth, it'll take you directly to Uniswap. It'll take you to here where you can actually go about buying that. So if you guys want to go about doing that, that's how you're going to do it. Overall, the chart looks solid. We're kind of just sitting right below resistance, looking like we're going to break out. So I honestly think it's still a good time to buy it for the people that do want to. Curve Finance. Let's talk about that a little bit. This has been another one of my really solid trades. I put a little decent amount in here. A little decent amount. That's a funny way to say that. But yeah, I really do like this setup. You know, as it stands to me, this is going to be one of the big leaders for being able to maintain gains throughout the bear market, being able to yield farm and earn off of stable coins. And that's what Curve DAO is actually doing. I think that this is going to do really well, maybe potentially in the bear market. Honestly, guys, I don't think anything's going to do that well during the bear market. There are certain coins like Binance Coin. It performed well in the bear market. But overall, nothing does well overall. Some things do better than others and they hold better support, but for the most part, most things go down. And so you guys got to keep in mind that the reason that these prices are going up is because of speculation. It's because of human emotion. It's because of all of the greed that's flowing around. People feeling like they're missing out. They see their neighbors making $1 million off Doge and oh my God, I need to get into that. So it's these prices aren't realistic, and you got to be able to see it in that way. You guys got to understand that this is not realistic for any of these cryptos. Long term, they won't be valued at this type of stuff. The big ones will. Ethereum, you know, Chainlink, Bitcoin, all of those, they will have a big valuation, but most of these things are going to drop off the face of the earth. And chances are, you know, we'll make a big peak at the top of the bubble cycle, whatever that is for crypto. And we'll do something like the stocks, where certain ones will go up long term, some of them will crash and then just go sideways for decades. We'll see the same thing as what happened in the internet bubble. And so I want to be out of the market. But I like Curve because I think this has a potential to do well in the bear market. But mainly I just think that this is going to do good in the bull market. I'm selling this thing before the bear market anyways. So what else do we have here? Polygon, bullish. Not buying any. Missed out on that train, but bullish for sure. ETC, EOS, and BCH. ETC is a bit breaking all-time highs. Just checked the chart the other day. Man, that thing's ripping. That looks awesome. That's really cool to see. Yeah, it broke its all-time highs. It's kind of following Dogecoin a little bit today. EOS. EOS is honestly really undervalued right now. If you guys want an undervalued high cap that's a safe pick for this cycle, I really think that this is a good buy right now. I mean, you guys look at the charts. This looks the same as all of the other high caps that are now breaking all-time highs and stuff. It's just that some of them are a little bit behind in the schedule. And so where EOS is at, you know, this thing looks solid. I mean, Bitcoin Cash is a little bit ahead of EOS. Yeah, we're about to go parabolic. We're about to... I love the chart of Bitcoin Cash. It's one of my all-time favorite charts amongst the high caps. Do I own any of it? No. I feel kind of dumb saying that because I really love this chart, and I have for a long time, over a year and a half at this point. I've loved the chart of Bitcoin Cash, but I just never bought any. What else do we have here? Tron. Yes, I saw this. Tron. Let's see here. I don't own any of Tron either. Oh wow, Tron looks solid. We just flipped this resistance. I think that it's going to do the same thing XRP is doing right now. It's about to go into new all-time highs. I think it looks solid, honestly. What's another one? Gosh. Let's see. I thought I put you in timeout. Okay. Dash. This is another one of those high caps that... Dash looks so good. And Dash is really undervalued, honestly. I think people forgot about Dash, but I really think that Dash is going to do well this cycle. I mean, it was one of the best performing alts in the last cycle. It's kind of been lagging in this one, but I really do. I mean, there's a lot of real adoption for Dash. That's the thing that I think people forget about. There's a lot of Dash ATMs, a lot of third world countries that have severe economic issues with their currency. They use Dash, and it gets a lot of adoption in those places. And so, you know, those are the types of places, these underdeveloped countries, the ones that are struggling the worst from all of this. These are going to be the ones that are adopting crypto the first. They're going to have the head start on blockchain. And honestly, I think that these other countries are going to get the head start on America. America's losing its dominance, and that's obvious to tell. China's going to be the next world power. In my opinion, there won't be so much as a country that's the world power, but we will be a one world government soon. That's what's coming. I think it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, people might say I'm a conspiracy theorist for believing that, but I mean, do you guys really think that that's not what's coming? I mean, it's obvious that that's what's coming, in my opinion. Obviously, everybody's entitled to believe what they want, but I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, what do you think is going to happen when all of the money is on, you know, crypto, where we can just trade with anybody across the world? Like, borders are going to collapse. Like, things aren't going to be what they are now. Like, we will see differences. XLM, let's go take a gander. Great. This looks solid, honestly. I like this type of action. Pump, pullback, pump, pullback, pump, pullback, pump, pullback. It's just, this is the type of stuff that happens before a big impulse. It's like, boom, right? It's kind of like what Litecoin did in the last cycle, right before it went parabolic. Let's see. What is Sovereign? What's going on? Hopefully the stream isn't lagging. We're lagging. My internet's dying on us, fam. Well, we're about 49 minutes into this. I feel like I've covered about enough as I need to. Looks like the stream's dying as we speak, and I don't really care to go anything over an hour. So, thank you guys so much for tuning into this. Hope you guys gained some value. Didn't feel like making a video, so here you guys go. There's your value for the day. Keep in mind, if you're actually listening to this, even though it's buffering and sucks, links are going to be provided for you in the description. So go check out all of the cool stuff with my live training that you guys want to participate into. All of the links to join the Discord, all of that cool stuff. Links are all in the description. Check it out. Join that. And with all